Afternoon Talk on SAFM.
Right, so I did say that normal services are tech media for the next half an hour, and then we go in the spotlight after 3. But these are not normal circumstances. Not every day that we have an Olympic gold medalist in the studio who has got a plane to catch. What time is your plane, by the way?
I think it's at 4:45.
My goodness. Okay, so you better rush out of here. So what we're going to do, and you better tell your mates that we've tweeted or Facebook that we're chatting at 3 o'clock, that actually it's not 3 o'clock, maybe less than that if you want to get a head start early. So 0891 104 207. With me, Chad LeClos, Olympic gold medalist. How do you feel if I say Olympic champion?
Wow.
Sounds good?
It sounds crazy. I didn't think it would ever come to this, but it's really, really
But
awesome.
I mean, when you were growing up and you had these plans about going to the Olympics one day or whatever, like, did you ever sort of visualize to say, put it right on your name and say Chad LeClos, Olympic champion?
I haven't told anyone this. When I was, before my turn fly final, I was 3 hours before.
Before this final year?
I was sitting down on my laptop, and I had the little notepad out, and I said to myself, and I was nervous because I knew, I had a lot riding on this, and I really wanted to win this race more than anything in the whole wide world. But at the same time, I would have taken a medal, if that makes sense.
Of course, yes, yeah.
So I wrote to myself, I said, Chad, whatever the outcome is, because I knew I wasn't going to sleep, either or. If I didn't get a medal, I wasn't going to sleep. If I got a medal, I wasn't going to sleep. So either or, I was, in trouble. So I wrote to myself, I said, Chad, whatever happens, I've done my family and my country proud. Well, I lied a bit. I've done my family and my country proud. And don't worry about what happens. And then I put 2 lines at the bottom, and I wrote there, the new Olympic champion. And I wrote a time. Okay, it was wrong, though. But
and it's not, that doesn't matter.
But it was something that I just did just before. So that's something that's very
But
special.
I mean, the reality going into that race, that you want a gold medal, certainly from the experts' years, like, okay, he's got into the final, but he's a guy to watch now in Rio in 4 years' time. The fact that he's got into the final, the top 8, is remarkable. That would have disappointed you, isn't it?
No,
Meaning
sure.
that for us was, okay, maybe if you come out 6th, we're okay, we'll chill with that. But that would have broken your heart.
No, it would have. I think if you asked me before, how do you think you're going to do? I mean, obviously, I'm always going to say, hopefully make a final, get the medal. But in the reality is, I've trained, my whole life for this moment. And I still haven't changed my goals for 2016. I still want to go there and achieve what I want to do. But, I mean, this year, I needed a medal. I needed it badly.
How badly did you need it?
No, but badly. I needed it.
But tell us how badly. I think we're trying to understand this.
Okay.
You see, for all of us, and we've been talking in your absence about South Africa's gold medal achievements outside of sport in the last year. I mean, it's really remarkable things that we do as a country, of course, right?
Yeah.
Now, none of us have won gold medals, so we don't know how badly you have to want it and then give up something to get there.
I'll give you a good understanding. Okay. It's just to take it back 4 years when, even before that in 2004, when I was 12 years old, I remember making that decision, that switch. I said to myself, Chad, I want to be like Michael Phelps. Even though he's not South African, but I want to be the South African version of Michael Phelps. 2008 came along, and the trials were there, and I was still a kid. I was still 15 years old, and I wasn't I couldn't make the Olympic Games realistically. So I swam the trials. I was happy it made everyone that had made the team, and then I remember watching Phelps win the 8, and then that made me even more motivated. And I remember even during school, even in my matric year, I had to miss 17 weeks of school to sacrifice in my matric year, and I told the school I was going to do it over 2 years. They gave me permission to do 3 subjects and 3 subjects, and luckily I didn't. But I think
Did you pass? Just check.
I did. I actually got 3 A's.
Okay.
Wow. But waking up almost every single morning at 4:30, from let's just say 2007, 2006, right through to the end of last year. This was the only year that I could wake up at 6 or 6:30.
Okay, wow.
So I was waking up, let's just say, on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday. Saturday would come in about 7. So 4 mornings out of the 7, you would wake up 4:30. And during winter, I wanted it bad, and I made sure that, when I came down the stretch, I thought about all the sacrifices I had made. Not just that. Also my family made huge sacrifices, and my coach. But I thought about that, and I said, listen, I'm not going to let this guy beat me. This guy hasn't woken up at 4:30 in the last couple of years. I know he hasn't. He's done that. He's done that in the past. I know. Yeah. So I was like, no ways. This is my time now. And I was lucky to get the touch.
Because I had a chat, just as an aside, with a guy by the name of Tebe Kalafang, who's one of the renowned brand leaders in this country. And he said, his lesson in life, if you want to get ahead, he said, if you want to make more money, if you think you don't earn enough money, if you want to make more money, wake up early, which is
True.
To put your achievement in monetary terms, like wake up early. Otherwise, you're
course.
just not going to get it.
Well, the way we've always said, Coach Graham Hill and I, who I've been with now for 12 years, we've always thought about doing extra. And, everybody does train exceptionally hard, everybody's on the same level fitness-wise. But if you can do something a little bit extra, we've done extra things along the way the last the last 18 months. And I can honestly say I think that was probably the difference, that extra 20 minutes almost every session that I would go and maybe do extra underwaters or extra something that would help me get the edge, because I knew that when I came down to Michael Phelps, he's a legend, that guy wasn't going to give that up, it doesn't matter, how far behind or how far ahead he was. I knew that he wasn't going to give it up, and I had to put in something extra because,
All right. Well, we are putting extra. Yeah, we're starting early today with the spotlight. We normally do it at 3 o'clock. We're starting at 2:30. So hopefully, tell others who thought they'll tune in at 3. They should tune in now, because we do have, and I'm going to say this all the time. We do have Chad LeClos, Olympic champion, in the studio. Now, there's very few South African Olympic champions that we can say Olympic champions, count them on one finger, not just this year, but over the last couple of years. So if you want to call in and say hi to him, 08911042007. Let's get to Innocent in Durban. Hi, Innocent.
Hi. Hello. How's it, Ashraf?
Yeah. Go for it, Innocent.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
How are you, Chad?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, man. I just wanted to call and just say, look, you've made South Africa proud, and even more so, you've made Durban proud. Just
Thank
because you're from around here, and made us feel like we can also achieve these great things.
Thank you very much.
And Chad, I just wanted to ask you one thing. You obviously are a very talented person, I'm sure, and out of all the different sports, did you have like a choice, or was swimming your thing, and that is what you sort of set out right from the beginning? Or did you have to choose between a couple of different things that you could have done?
I always played a lot of sports when I was younger. I played a lot of soccer. Football is one of my passions, and I played up until 2008 when I was 16 years old. But I played provincially for the PDFA team back in the day, but I definitely wasn't any good. But swimming, I always knew swimming was going to be the main focus. And when I made that switch, that final change when I went to high school, it was almost like a mental change that I had to make. It wasn't I'm better at swimming, I'm better at or whatever. It was because I wanted to do it. Like I said to myself, hopefully I want to make the Olympic Games, and I made that goal of mine, and I did it.
Okay, thanks for that call, Innocent in Durban. I'll get another one also from Durban. Goodness, the Durban crowds are coming out in force here. Daniel, hi.
Hi, good afternoon, Ashraf.
Yes, hi,
and
Daniel.
good afternoon to you, Chad.
Good afternoon.
Chad, congratulations to you
Thank
and
you.
to your dad, Bert. I'm a very
Thank
close
you.
friend of your Uncle John,
Okay.
and you've made us proud in South Africa.
Thank you.
Chad, well done.
Thank you
And
very
to you,
much.
Ashraf, I must say thank you for producing a lovely program today. We missed
It's a pleasure.
yesterday's. I know that we waited all afternoon,
Indeed.
but hopefully today will be a successful one.
All right, goodness. I think Chad's done
Thank
so
you
many
very
interviews
much.
on such crazy deadlines, and I can understandably so. Now, there's lots of other things I want to talk about. Someone, by the way, was it at the airport today, proposed that you take her to a matric dance,
Yeah.
and you said yes.
I said yes on the 20. Sorry, if she's listening out there, I need to find the details because I lost them. But
I can't believe you lost the details.
I said I would definitely, if I'm in the country and if I'm available that weekend, I will make a plan.
Oh, so you're gonna
to
check
go.
it out where
I
you
will,
are.
of course. If I'm not here, obviously I can't.
Somebody
make it,
else then tweeted later on, and I've got her details.
Well,
Her name is Suzelle de Jager, and she's saying, and she tweeted me and probably you as well to say, you know what, that's the one day. I mean, surely you're available other days as well. I mean, can you also take her to the matric dance?
Oh, this is I'm
Not to the same dance, of
course. I'll have to check the dates. I have to check the schedule.
All right, but you're a man in demand. I mean, can you imagine now? It's not like you were unknown last week or 2 weeks ago, because obviously people in the swimming fraternity knew that you were hot stuff. But as a South African, you were unknown. As a
Yes.
every, and you come back from the Olympic Games, and you obviously touched on last week Thursday already, and you've seen the difference, right? How different has it been for you?
I think like the best word to describe it, it's been overwhelming. I think right from when we came back from Johannesburg, Cameron and I were walking next to each other, and we looked back and we were like, wait, "Are you sure the president is not behind us?" Because this was huge. The crowd was, I mean, it was massive.
Is that what you guys said?
No, I didn't. We honestly didn't know it for us. It couldn't have been for us. I mean, it was so big. When we walked on the stage, we were just like, "Oh no, do we have to make a speech?" We were so scared. And then, I mean, even touching down in Durban was fantastic to see what a welcome I had there was really, really incredible. And I think, you know, a lot of people ask me, "Are you nervous with all this added attention, added pressure?" And I think, you know, I'm not nervous. I'm more excited that I have more followers, because if I have more people supporting me, you know, like non-swimmers even, like people that just, you know, watch rugby or soccer, and if I can have those people supporting me, I know that I'll do better because I have them in my corner.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying that Twitter is a barometer of followers, but just give us an indication of how many Twitter followers you had 3 weeks ago and how many you've got now.
I actually checked. Usually when I'm racing, I don't look at my Twitter at all. I actually, you know, just rather focus on my swimming. But just before we left from Monaco, I had, I think, 2,300 followers. Okay. And then, now I've got, I think, 69,000. I'm not too sure, 68,000.
Okay, so 2,000, I mean, that tells you 2,000 before you left, 69,000, I'm not sure, in a matter of 3 weeks. So your life has changed forever, you know that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think I could say it has.
When you, what informed you at a certain age that you've got talent? Because when you took to swimming and you said you played soccer, but obviously something had happened that suggested that, hold it, I've really got ability in swimming, as opposed to just being a good swimmer in my school. I can actually really make a career of this.
I think you know, the biggest step up for me was when, well, I went on my first overseas trip when I was 13. I got sponsored a trip from Beringman. Greg Till was in charge back then, and he kindly, well, my mom works for Beringman and my sister, so they saw my name in one of the school papers, and they said, well, we want to, you know, sponsor this kid a trip to England. And I went over there for the first time. It's ironic that England was my first trip, but anyway, I went there, and I came stone last in both my events that I swam, and you know, I was very, I mean, you know, from back home when I used to, I can't say I won everything, but I would, you know, get on the podium and make finals. But over there, I couldn't even make a final. And I think, you know, I was upset about that, but it almost made me more hungry to do better. So, and I don't know how to say this, but the disappointment of losing motivated me more to do better, to prove people wrong. I think I like when people tell me I can't do something, I prefer it, like it motivates me more than, you know what I mean? Like if someone says, "Oh, you can't,"
because I mean, often, you know, when you ever failing, many people sort of close up and never come back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I've never looked at it like that way. I've more looked at it as a motivation. Just like you know, when you get beat in a race, and I mean, I've lost many times in my short career so far, and I've been disappointed a lot of the times, and I just go back to training and I use that as fuel. To fire,
let's get to some of the other callers too. 089 104 207. We're chatting to Olympic champion Chad LeClos. Lenny, it is Lenny in Randburg. By the way, just before I get to Lenny, let me also invite, you know, I don't know whether your family is listening at all, but if anybody related to Chad LeClos is listening to me putting him in the spotlight, well, it's a chance for you to call in and say hi. And I'd love it if you tell us something that we don't know about Chad LeClos that you'd like to tell us and share with us, because there are lots of things that we need to know. Right, Lenny in Randburg, rather. Hi.
Hi, guys. How are you?
I'm very good, yeah.
Thanks. A quick one, Chad. Chad.
Yes.
Are you attached to any academy?
Swimming academy.
As in swimming academy, yes. And if do you have any plans or interest in participating in an academy, for example, when you're on your spare time, or are you currently attached to some academy? I'm listening on the radio.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thanks for that call, Lenny. Yep.
Yeah, I've been swimming with my coach Graham Hill at Seagull Swimming Club for now 12 years, and well, we have a squad there, like an academy. Yeah, we do. Down in Durban, we're based in Poundtown. And well, I don't know if you're asking if I have an academy for myself. I think I'm
not your very own. Yeah.
Not yet. My mom's just qualified to become a learn to swim instructor, so we might be making in the next couple of months.
Okay. Now, interesting, and hopefully we'll chat to Graham just now as well. Certainly want to say a few words to him. How important has he been to achieving your gold medal?
No, hugely. I could never ever thank Graham enough for what he's done for me. I think you know, growing up, like I said, as a youngster, coming into a squad which had a lot of well-known swimmers back then, Terence Parker and Princess Charlene, who was an Olympic swimmer back then, and we had a lot of others that were great back then. And I came into as a junior that like I said, I didn't know much about swimming, and I think Graham really helped me get through the psychological side where, you know, competing, because, you know, you can do as much training as you like. At the end of the day, you got to stand on the blocks by yourself, and you know, you got to learn to juggle the nerves. So Graham has been very good in that department, helping me control those excitements.
But give us an insight into that. That, you know, ultimately, if you ate, because I'm just looking at it, 8 swimmers on the blocks there, and you know, what do they say? Sort of steady, and you're about to go, right? And you've got that split second, and you know you can't go 1 second early and you can't go 1 second late, right? It's that important.
Yeah, sure.
But for all intents and purposes, all of you are a very similar ability, right?
Sure.
It's the mental strength that many people say separates one from the other. I mean, how important is that, and how then do you actually handle the fact that when you're looking to a Michael Phelps who's next to you, who is your hero, you actually want to pay him the best compliment by beating your hero? Now, you know, if someone said that the Sharks were their favorite rugby team, they wouldn't want them to lose a Super Rugby game. They would want them to win every single game, and you're out to beat your hero.
Of course, that was the hardest thing for me. You know, it was kind of funny because in the semi-finals he swam in Heat 1, and I was in Heat 2, and you watch obviously from inside the room, and I remember cheering under my breath, like, "Go Phelps!" I'm like, "What am I doing? I've got to race this guy. Come on!" Usually the guys are like,
"You were supporting him."
I was supporting him. What kind of a dumbass am I? And I think, I mean, it's just how it's always going to be. You know, like I say, I'm always gonna support Phelps. Well, he's not swimming anymore, but I'm always gonna look up to him and look at his races, and, you know, try to be a role model like he was. So,
but you also made the point in an earlier interview, long before the Olympics, that if you won anything, you didn't want to win it without Michael Phelps, you know, swimming in the same race.
No, of course.
And many others would say, we just wish the guy is injured so he doesn't swim.
I think a lot of people...
Why is that?
I don't know. The way I've always felt is I would rather... Well, okay, this can come out really wrong, but I'd rather lose to the best in the world than win against... For example, if Phelps came 9th and didn't make the final, I'd rather come second in the final and race him, and knowing that I'll race the best in the world, than win the final and have him come 9th. You know, I've always been like that my whole life, and I've never... I don't know. I've always liked the challenge. That's what the Olympics is all about. You know, it's not about hoping that someone gets injured or sick before they swim. It's about racing the best. And if you are the best, you know, then you must. You know, that's why you feel when you win the race. That's the way. I felt.
And then you can feel.
You can feel.
The best, indeed, yeah. We are chatting to Chad LeClos. He's the man in the spotlight. I'll check out some of your tweets as well, just in a second or two. Just to move on, the mental makeup aspect. So. What is the do's and don'ts to sort of get you into the right frame of mind mentally for well, you call it the zone, yeah.
For me, I mean, like I said, I don't like to go on any social media network. I don't actually like talking to a lot of people before I swim. When I race those 8 days, I like to say that when the first race starts, Olympic Games or whatever, World Champs, Commonwealth Games, I like to know that I'm in control of myself, and I know that, like, I almost feel like I'm a different person. I feel more focused on what I do. Like, I don't always think about the race, but I just feel like, I mean, okay, it sounds crazy, but like, I'm not going to laugh like I usually do, you know, tell jokes. I'll be, you know, talking to my friends normally, but like when I enter that pool arena, you must know that it's almost like, okay, it's not like war, but you race.
But it is a war.
It is war in a way. Yeah, I mean, like when I entered the races, for my races, you know, I wanted to be in control of my emotions, because usually when I first started out, I was very nervous and very excited. I think that's something that is the hardest thing about the Olympic Games and big competitions. You get there and you're too excited. You know, you see 20,000 people. I mean, I've never seen that in my life for a swimming pool. It's bigger than Wimbledon. You know, you're going out there, you're like, oh, you know.
Like, how do you cope with that?
I know, and I think going through each race, the Tour de Fly luckily was my 5th race. You know, heat, semis, and finals. And by the time that race came along, I was honestly really relaxed. I mean, I was excited, but I was much more relaxed than I was for the 4 IM on day one.
Okay, let's get to some more callers as well. I also need to invite you to SMS. If you are SMSing 34701, that's going to cost you R2. If you're tweeting, use the hashtag Afternoon Talk, but you can tweet me directly, AshrafGarda1. I'll read through all of those. We are chatting to Chad LeClos earlier than normal. Normally it's the spotlight at 3 o'clock, but he's got a plane to catch back to Durban at 4:45, and as you know, you should have been my guest yesterday. We need to apologize for that because, of course, the times were just incredibly tight indeed. Lance, now we're going to get to Lance in a second. Donald on the line. Hi, Donald.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Chad. Congratulations. You're a great inspiration.
Thank you very much. How's it going?
I'd just like to find out 3 things.
Sure.
How old are you? where does the name Chad come from? And your surname, is that Old Durban French?
Okay, got that. Thank you. Old Durban French. LeClos. Tell us about it.
A lot of people call me LeClos, but my surname is actually pronounced LeClos without the S. It's from my father's French origin. He was born in Mauritius.
Is he Mauritian?
He's a Mauritian,
Okay.
yeah. So he moved here when he was 8 years old. Couldn't speak a word of English, by the way. And, I have a very big family from my dad's side. All of them proud, big, strong,
And
you know.
are they here?
They're all here, yeah. They're all in here, in Durban. They're in Durban, Joburg, some in Cape Town. So they're spread out quite a bit. But, we always have a function of the big competition at my house, a big celebration. And, it gets pretty loud. You have to get them offside for the tears.
Okay. We need to talk about your dad.
Sure.
Your age, I mean, that's you're 20 years old,
20
right?
years old, yes. Yeah. And what was that one again?
I don't know what is the third one. Okay, hopefully we'll remember it just now. Okay, we're going to chat more. I need to ask the one question which I think is interesting. So what's the one thing about you that we don't know that you'd love to share with us? Don't answer it right now. We'll do that right after this.
Okay.
Afternoon Talk on SAFM.
Okay, by the way, Ashley Bad is tweeting saying the third question was, what does the name Chad mean? Somebody's listening.
Okay. Yes, well, I think my parents they loved Africa because my brother's name's Jordan. So I don't know, they're flying over Chad and they're like, okay, cool.
Oh, so you're named after a country?
I don't know, I'm joking.
You think?
No, I was actually, to be honest, I was actually named after somebody in the hospital at the time. His name was Chad Botha. Apparently he was quite a cute young boy, charming. So that's what my mom said. So she said Chad's
went
the
for
name.
another Chad. Okay, well, maybe the Jordan in one country and Chad in another sounds great as well. Let's get to Lance. Lance in Durban as well. Hi, Lance.
Hi, Ashraf.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just want to relay a little story. I've met Chad on a few occasions in the last 12 years, and I know Graham is coached very well. And I remember about 10 years ago meeting Chad and asking Graham, what he thought of Chad. And I remember 10 years ago, Graham saying what a special young individual he was. So I just want to say from myself, Chad, a great young man. You've done this country very proud, and don't change, my boy. Stay the person you are. I've met him on a few occasions, and he is a very down to earth and just a good young man. And all of South Africa can be very proud of him.
Thanks, Lance. Appreciate it. Thanks,
okay, nice call, Lance. Okay, let me get a couple of quick ones before the news as well. Dwayne on the line. Hi, Dwayne.
Hi, afternoon.
Yeah, hi. Go for it.
I just want to share with Chad that we watched a lot of the Olympics, and I'm one of the rugby cricket supporters now that's got his back.
And
his race was the most awesome of all the races in the Olympics.
Thank you.
And so much so that my 14-year-old daughter has now got me to enroll her into the gym because she now wants to start swimming. And so there's now swimming is now the big buzzword in our family.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Great stuff indeed. Thanks so much for that one there. Right. Thelma on the line. Hi, Thelma.
Hello. Well done, Chad.
Thank you.
Okay. Cost me a fortune in phone calls because I was phoning my daughter who's moved to London and my son. And when you won the gold medal, the screams from London down to Hillary in Durban. It's the one that didn't break the telephone line. It's one of my neighbours haven't moved house because we all screamed, we all ran out in the garden. It was so elating. It was really nice. Right, what I wanted to ask you mainly, did you ever swim at the Bel Air pool?
Bel Air, my mom actually grew up in Bel Air.
Yes. Did she ever take you to the Bel Air pool?
I've seen it.
That's where I take all my foster kids and they've all learned to swim there. And I thought, I wonder if Chad's ever swum in the Bel Air pool.
I'm pretty sure I've swum there. Yeah, I think I have when I was a youngster.
I must get a plaque.
Well, sure.
Swam here. Okay,
all right,
well
Thelma.
done.
Thank you very much.
To see and hear more great things from you.
Indeed.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Well done.
All
well
right.
done.
Thanks
welcome
for that.
Welcome back.
Okay,
Thank
Thelma
you.
in Durban. Thanks for the calls. 0891 104 Chad LeClos in the spotlight up to about 3:30 before he gets his flight to Durban.